you're in tremendous shape, and it's like pretty common. Every once in a while, you'll see like a jacked dude, but it's really rare to see a jacked female. Do you get like a lot of flack for that? Like people, you get weird DMs, and do people say stuff to you in person? If you're walking through the airport and you're in a tank top or something like that.
Yeah, in person, it's usually nice comments. Like, no one's like walking up to me and being like, "You look like a dude," because I mean, that'd be also like, what if I'm really mad that day?
Yeah.
Like, but no, I wouldn't actually hurt
Super
anyone.
kick him in the chest.
Yeah. No, in person, it's usually like I get asked a lot if I bodybuild. A lot of people may not know what CrossFit is, or they just assume because I look a certain way that I must be training to look that way instead of like training to do something. And then, yeah, I mean, on Instagram, I get a lot of love more than I get hate, but I do get, especially I feel like it's almost weirder when I get the DMs versus like a comment just saying like, "You look like a man." I'm like, okay, like I just,
yeah, what a wonderful DM.
Yeah.
Great.
Like, but it's just for me, I'm like, I feel bad for that person that's what they choose to do with their time. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, especially like grocery stores, airports, like I get some weird looks if I'm not like covered up and stuff. So, but
I wonder what some of that is. I wonder if it's just like some dude who can't gain muscle who's just sitting there.
Oh, the
Could be.
messages,
being weird about it, because it's like, I think it's awesome. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it might not happen as much in person because, like, I don't know, when you're looking at a picture of you like on your cell phone screen, and then they can like swap over to like, if it's Instagram, like softcore porn or whatever, it's like, it's like, oh, she looks a little bit different than what this other like model looks like. And so when they see you in person, I think it's more of like they're taken back because like, oh shit, like she's gorgeous. Like, what is that? Like, because they're just so blown away. So I think when somebody does say like, oh, you look like a dude, like, I feel bad because I feel like maybe they've never seen like what a really good fit person looks like in person.
Yeah.
Because so when they see that online, they're just like, oh, that looks different. Like that, she looks like a dude. But it's like if somebody saw you in person, they'd just be floored. They're like, what the hell? Like I can't even figure out. Like like you're in such good shape that I think in person, like they can't like say anything negative. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. So like I just feel bad for the people that do like talk shit, because it's like, man, you have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Well, I think it's more messed up when I'll have like other women comment and like tag their friends and be like, oh, like I would never want to look like this. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I didn't ask for your opinion. Second of all, like the thing is, like, to me, like, first of all, I'm very proud of what I look like, and it's taken me a long time to get to that space. And also, like, for me, like, the way I look is a representation of all the hard work I put into my training and my sport. And to me, I read that and I'm like, you're acting as if you could just have the choice tomorrow to look, like me or these other amazing CrossFit athletes. It's not, it's like years and years and years.
And I think maybe they make those comments because they think like, see, like if we lift, that's what we're going to look like.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, man.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I think it was Margot Alvarez, I think. She was like, yeah, I'll get people that'll compliment me like, oh, you look great, but I'd never want to have that much muscle. And she's like, good luck.
You
right,
can't.
yeah.
Like,
you can't do
Yeah. I'm
Well,
like,
it's
we wouldn't
funny.
be working out all of the time if it happened that easy. But yeah, no, it's crazy.
Yeah, well, how do we convince chicks to lift heavier then?
I think it's more so, I think it's super powerful for women to lift because for me, like I struggled with going to the gym and not being so fixated on wanting to do certain things in the gym to look a certain way. And so even if some women are coming into, let's say, a CrossFit gym because they're like, I want to look like whatever it is, their dream body or something. And I think, you know, they get under like heavy weight and all of a sudden their mind is no longer focused on that. They're just like, I want to lift 100 pounds. And I think that's so powerful. And they start to develop different goals surrounding, you know, lifting and strength. And it actually gives them this internal strength. And I think freedom to not be so fixated on looking a specific way. And also like the result of that, like, don't get me wrong. It's like, I mean, I got into CrossFit too because I was like, you know, I want to be in shape. I think like it's okay to have like some like vanity and be like, I want to look good. But I think you don't want it to be all consuming. And so I think that's why lifting is just such a great tool because it gets you out of that mindset a little bit.
Kind of distracts you away from it. And
Yeah.
if you're trying to, let's say, lift 100 pounds, somebody might inform you and say, oh, you know, the real key to lifting 100 pounds isn't just the work that you do in the gym, but it's also the recovery of it.
Right.
And have you looked into trying, you know, any of these diets that people are talking about? Or have you looked into trying to sleep more, or start to get into a pattern, you know, so you can, if you really want to lift 100 pounds, it's just like getting the straight A's, right? It's like we need to have, you know, probably more than one thing align with that.
Right.
And now you're not even really focused on being skinny or being small. You're not depriving yourself. You're not hungry. You still have, you're filling yourself up every day with good nutrients that are going to make you more powerful. And I love what you said about it's kind of building like an internal strength, and like nothing can replace that. And from what I've seen, you know, I've seen so many different women come through powerlifting and then end up with fantastic bodies from powerlifting. And then someone else is like, oh, I didn't think powerlifting would do that. But your body, you know, has so much more to do with your mind and your nutrition. Like those are the key elements right there. The actual training that you do, the actual lifting that you do, it's not as significant. Now, when you start to, you know, end up being built like yourself, or you end up being like built more like a bodybuilder and those kinds of things, then it starts to matter a little bit more on exactly what you're doing, because you're a low percentage of body fat, and it's going to really affect the overall look. But aside from that, you know, nutrition and training is just really not. It's not the highest priority in terms of how you look.
Yeah.
You know?